Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Leatherface. And this movie came out in 2017, and it's, I guess, an origin story to Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, or whatever timeline it's going for. I don't even know. And I thought this movie was really bad, but it was funny at times, at the very least, unintentionally funny. What really doesn't work about this movie is its presentation and the story, and it's just all over the place, and it's really just a bunch of kids escaping from a mental institution or mental hospital or whatever in 1965, because in the year 1955, however long the movie, like 15-20 minutes, it takes place in 1955, and just showing off the character of Leatherface. Well, he's not Leatherface just yet. It just shows him as a little boy, and it's like he's about to, it's his birthday, and he gets to kill someone with a chainsaw because that's his birthday present, and that doesn't really work out. And during that whole period of time, they're just trying to train him to be like the rest of the family and kill humans and eat them for dinner or whatever. And eventually a girl dies, and she was the daughter of a sheriff, and the sheriff just locks away the kid, like the Leatherface character. Eventually they break out, and they just will walk around in the woods for the rest of the movie. And it's pretty boring for a decent amount of it. There's nothing really to attach onto in this movie. And they tried to give you something with the nurse character who just got a job at this mental institution, and she wants to learn who everyone is, but things don't really go as planned, and she ends up being like kidnapped, and like she goes along for the ride for the rest of the movie, like with the kids who escape, and because they're keeping three of them as like hostages or something. It's like they can't run away because they don't want to let them know about their plan, and they're just planning on going to Mexico and just escape from Texas or something. I have no idea. And really nothing works about this movie, and while some of the violence looks real, the blood does at least, the rest of the movie is just really boring, and the only parts I enjoyed were just the really funny parts when it wasn't even trying to be funny, and that was when it was being really violent, and it's like, this is kind of funny at least, but the rest of the movie is just really dull, and there isn't all that much violence going on. And there was a point in this movie where I was just thinking to myself, where are we going? What are we doing? And it just stretches everything out for so long, and I'm just waiting for something to happen, and really, for a decent amount of the movie, nothing really happens. And you're just waiting for something, and it's just characters walking around talking, and it's not like the dialogue's good either, and the performances are bad in this movie. A lot of the acting's over the top, and I never bought anyone as their characters, and the characters are all incredibly unlikable. And there's just nothing to them, and they're also very, very stupid, and they make some of the stupidest decisions ever that a human being could possibly do. Not even a human being could be this stupid as some of the characters in this movie. This movie was also never scary in the slightest. I never found any of the Sawyer characters to be intimidating. I never took any of them seriously, and the movie plays itself pretty straight. And that's one thing that doesn't really work about it, is that it's taking itself very seriously, but I'm just kind of laughing at it, and that's not really a good thing. It adds some replay value because I would like to watch the funny bad moments, but that's only about half of the movie, and the rest of it is pretty boring. There's also some really weird decisions that this movie makes, and I'm just going to spoil this movie because I don't recommend it that you check this movie out, and if you do, all you're going to get out of it is just the really funny parts that are not even trying to be funny. And throughout the entire movie, I was expecting the character of Bud in this movie to be Leatherface, and I thought he was going to be like, I thought he was Leatherface because of how he behaved in the movie, and he never really talked, and he just walked around, and he did most of the killing in the movie. And by the end of the movie, it's not even, they just kill him off and they shoot him in the head. Well, he gets shot at a like it in the gut at a couple points in the movie. I was like, oh, they're just showing off that he's a wounded character, and all these injuries he's getting is why he's wearing the mask. And eventually, a cop just shoots him in the head, and I thought that it was going to show off that that's the reason why he's like, he doesn't really talk, is because he's also like mentally disabled, or like he just barely survived that, and or something stupid like that. I thought that's what was going to happen, but in the end, they didn't do that, and I just realized, oh, they just killed him? Really? That's not Leatherface? I thought for sure that was going to be him. And the movie is setting him up to be Leatherface, because that's what he would do. And it turned out the character named Jackson was actually the character who was Leatherface the whole time, and the entire time he never feels like he's going to be Leatherface, and it's supposed to be like a subversion of expectations, but it literally just comes out of nowhere, and I'm like, what? Why would you do that? And it's like, he doesn't feel like Leatherface at all. The entire time he just feels like just a normal, average, everyday character, and that was Leatherface. It never felt earned that he was Leatherface, and by the time we get to the end of the movie, and he is Leatherface, and he has like this thing attached to his head, like a headgear or whatever, to like keep his face from falling apart or whatever. It just didn't feel right to me, is all I'm gonna say, and it felt very thrown in and just very poorly handled. And that's about all I have to say about Leatherface. It's terrible. Don't watch it. It's not worth your time. And as a funny bad movie, it isn't all that great. You could try watching it and hoping that you're going to find it more funny bad than it actually was, but it just never works. And even as a horror movie, it fails, because I wasn't scared by anything. I was just laughing at the movie whenever it was trying to be violent. And all the characters talk like they're the same character, and that was kind of irritating. There were also some really obnoxious jump scares in the movie. And you're just, a character is just walking and walking, and they turn around and there's a guy right behind them. And it makes this really loud, obnoxious sound. And that got pretty tiring to me, and I kind of regret watching this movie, which is not something I can say about some of the other Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. And when I say that, I don't mean the original one from 1974. That movie is great, in my opinion, but the 2003 remake, the prequel to that remake, and the one on Netflix, that's just called Texas Chainsaw Massacre, those movies I can watch as funny bad movies. This one and Texas Chainsaw 3D, I can't. To some extent, I could, but it's not worth it, because the laughs are just so far spread out, and this movie is less than 90 minutes, and it feels so slow. And I just can't do it. And with all that being said, I'm going to give Leatherface a 2 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of Leatherface, and my social media links. They will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for The Gentleman, directed by Guy Ritchie, so look forward to that. But until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day. And with all that being said, I'm going to give Leatherface a 2 out of... Hi. What are you doing? That's the microphone. Don't rub... Oh, no. Silly cat.